and we got jumped by 3 men with knives.
Они напали на Диму, повалили его на землю.
They cut my fingers because I stopped it like this.
Я заметила кровь, ну как бы вот в районе живота у Димы на футболке. Просто кричала и говорила: у нас все забрали, у нас все забрали. Я...
My name is Dimitri Kiefer. With my wife Gunnar Kiefer, we are going around the world by human power. We started in Alaska and we will finish in Alaska. Human power means on our specific route we don't use any engine, so we usually cycle, walk, swim, kayak, row, pull a sled, and maybe some other more exotic way of transport that we will do in the future, but all human power. Anyway, so through Africa, coming from Saudi Arabia, went through Jordan, Israel, Egypt, and then proceed down mostly the east coast of Africa: Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, and now South Africa. Along the way, we kayak 3 lakes. I wanted to kayak some beautiful lakes, so on our route, we kayak Lake Malawi with my wife. She was able to join me for that. That was a lot of fun. Lake Tanganyika in Tanzania, and Lake Victoria in Uganda. The other thing we have done on the way, but that's not really part of the route, but it was a lot of fun. We climbed some mountains. We climbed Rwenzori in Uganda, Kenya in Kenya, Meru and Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, and finally Mulanje in Malawi. So that's been really fun as side little projects on the way. Now we are arriving in the tip of South Africa, which is not Cape Town. A lot of people think Cape Town is the most southern point, but it is not. It's just the western point. The most southern point of Africa is actually Lagoulas. It's about 300 kilometers southeast of Cape Town, and we are on our way there. We stopped on our way here in this town of Stanford to meet with good Russian friends whom we previously met on the road in Namibia. So this is where we are now. We have about 2 more days of cycling to complete. Tomorrow we want to go to the waterfront to take a classic shot in front of the Table Mountain as a souvenir with our bicycle. We follow the bicycle lane, a beautiful bicycle lane with very nice signs along the side of the road where we were told the day before we would be safe.
Мы ехали по этой дороге, остановились на мосту, был прекрасный вид города, мы остановились, чтобы сфотографировать, мы очень любим фотографировать по пути, и, видимо, скорее всего, нас уже приметили, когда мы были на мосту, возможно, я не знаю. Мы поехали вниз, скорость была небольшая, и вдруг сзади меня схватили за сумку, то есть не меня, а сумку схватили в велосипеде, я притормозила, оборачиваюсь, стоит человек черный, и пытаются схватить вот эту, вытащить мою сумку черную. Моя реакция первая была, я обернулась, я начала кричать на него. Дима ехал впереди, он услышал и обернулся, и он сразу слез с велосипеда. И этот мужчина, он повторял только одно слово: фон, 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 фон. И в этот момент он начал доставать нож из кармана. И когда он его достал, у меня было ощущение, как будто я вдруг вылетела из этой ситуации. Я сверху смотрю и просто смотрю фильм про нас. 3 других мужчин прибежали, и первые 5 мыслей у меня, что «О, это помощь!» И я даже обрадовалась, что бегут еще 3 мужчин, как бы нас спасут сейчас. Это оказались тоже мошенники. У каждого из них был в руке нож. Они напали на Диму, повалили его на землю, держал кошелек, и они его ножом начали в разные стороны, пугать, наверное, да. Но потом, когда он не отдавал, они уже порезали ему пальцы. Вот. И в тот момент уже Дима отпустил. Как Дима сказал, они буквально дотронулись ножом, но поскольку нож был очень острым, были глубокие ранения такие. И потом, они сразу убежали, то есть они взяли у нас 2 телефона, 3 телефона. 3-й, это который запасной телефон, на всякий случай мы держали, чтобы его отдать при нападении. У нас взяли фотокамеру, кошелек у Димы, где были кредитные карты и деньги. Потом мы очень быстро сели на велосипеды и просто начали ехать. А поскольку район, то есть такое, были вот эти трущобы и люди по пути, я помню, я просто кричала и говорила: у нас все забрали, у нас все забрали. Я боялась, что на нас опять нападут. Я заметила кровь, ну как бы вот в районе живота у Димы на футболке. Это оказалась кровь, которая с пальцев, и она просто Дима задела футболку и испачкала ее.
We did want you to finish because stopping it would be one more win for the people who attack us. You know, at least you don't want to stop your dream because you have been attacked.
По Диминым воспоминаниям, это происходило 3 секунды. Это было намного больше. Первая мысль была: нет, это с нами не происходит, нет, это, ну, как бы, это не мы.
I can only presume that their life is really not the greatest. I've seen where they live, I've seen the environment, and I was lucky that my life didn't finish there, and I want to be able to proceed further and continue this dream. And again, not fear, control our lives. Be careful, of course, be as prudent as we can, but not stop altogether.
Я была переполнена благодарностью, что вот я здесь, и все хорошо со мной, с моим мужем, и мы можем продолжить дальше. Понятно, что да, это стресс, но главное во всей этой ситуации все равно будьте бдительны и осторожны. Не расслабляйтесь. Почему так произошло, не знаю, но мы расслабились. Под конец, может, уже проехать по всю Африку.
I read afterwards online that there is actually a lot of crime that has been committed on this specific route, on this bicycle lane. Similar situation: a man would be attacked by a knife, another one come with a rock, and to get, or with not a rock, with a gun, to get more out of this bicyclist. Most of the time, the bicyclists lose their bicycle as well, which are being resold and sent somewhere else in the country or elsewhere. It's not a freak accident; it happens quite regularly in this route. I wrote a letter to the premier of the state, who is a bicyclist himself, and I said, you know, why don't you remove the sign of the bicycle lane or put a warning? Because for any cyclist like us coming from overseas, arriving in town, it seems like the most logical way to go. You either go on a bicycle lane or you go on a highway. So of course you pick the bicycle lane, especially when you have been told it will be safe people-wise. It's very tricky on a bicycle, same with a hitchhiker. Where do you put your most valuable items? Your credit cards, your debit card, your phone, your passport. On a bicycle, if you put in your phone pannier, of course it's a logical place, because if somebody attacks you and you want to run away with it, you can take that and run. But they also know very often that this is where the golden goose, this is where they go after. They didn't touch my other bags. They only went inside his bag and grabbed everything they could. Now, credit card and debit card, if you have cash with you, you should not have your credit card and debit card anywhere where it could be grabbed, because that's obviously something that is really quite hard to replace in a foreign country. Your phone is tricky, because you only use your phone for maps, you use it for everything. So what do? I'm thinking actually of going back to the old system of using a GPS just for maps and burying my phone deep, that I don't need to use it during the day. I had a taser and a paper spray. That's nice if somebody's attacking you maybe at night, if somebody's attacking you alone. Or a long stick also is good. But if it's 4 people with knives, there's not much you can do. Pulling out weapons may actually risk your life, may put you more at risk. So first of all, to talk about South Africa, for anyone who wants to travel in South Africa, do your homework. Another thing to plan is to back up all your data, of course. We usually back it pretty well. This time I made a mistake not to back it up for the last month, same with Gunnar. We didn't back it up since we went to South Africa, so we lost quite a bit. That's our mistake, and we need to be more methodical with that. Now, most of you will say put it on the cloud. Cloud is great, but there are problems with that. Number one, you are not always able to access it very well and modify it, especially your notes. It's not when you're not online. It's not always that easy. Number two, you can also lose your data on the cloud. This happened to me. I had a situation right now where the thief of the phone was able to quickly get into my contacts and delete all my contacts, not just on my phone, but on the cloud. I have 2,600 contacts on my phone, and they wipe all of this. I was only able to retrieve it because in Google there's a feature where you go into your trash and then you can undelete what is in your trash. So I was very lucky with that. Otherwise I would have lost all my contacts from years of expedition, which is important to me because anytime somebody asks me, hey, do you know a bicycle repair shop in this country, or would you recommend there or there, I can share this information. So for matter of sharing, it's really important for me. And staying in contact. People, they start getting into the phones in South Africa and tell people, if you don't send me money, I will send all those pictures, compromising photos I've seen on your phone to all your contacts. That happened. I know also it happened in Mexico as well. So this is another thing you need to be careful. The information can be used against you. The other thing that is being done, they will find through your phone your email address. They will send you an email address, assuming you can get access elsewhere than your phone. You will see that email and they will say, oh, I have your phone. If you want your phone, come and we will get you, for X amount of money, we'll get your phone. The police warned me not to do this because what happened, if I do, to tell the police so they could come and catch the thief, which can be very dangerous. What happened usually is that you come and they rob you a second time. The police use the expression second time victim or victimization for the second time or something like this. Another thing to also be careful of, make sure you have a plan. You should just assume that someday you may get robbed and everything will be taken from you. So be prepared to be able to restore your how to order a new debit card, how to order a new credit card, how to order a new phone, all that without a phone. Be prepared. How do you go to an internet cafe, if there are still some at the time, where you can organize this and block all this, block your credit card, block your debit card. So be prepared that all what you have might disappear in a flash of a second, and you need to be able to know how to intervene and to operate in that environment. Years ago, I was asked to write an article about safety while cycling through Far East Russia, because there were some crimes as well. And some of the things I mentioned were, first of all, you hide some cash, because cash is still very valuable. You hide in different places. I'm not going to tell you right now on camera where I hide some cash, but you try to hide some cash in different places so you don't have all your resources in one place. Another thing you need to do is, which is not a bad idea, have a fake wallet and a fake phone. Carry a broken old phone and a wallet with old credit cards and money. And if somebody jump you with a knife or attack you, you can give that away. Be very careful with your passport. What I always do is carry a copy of my passport and my visa in my wallet. My passport is buried pretty deep somewhere else. But again, the question is how deep to carry it, because you can't, if they take your whole bicycle, then you lose everything. But at least the chances are they would just grab things that is close by. They don't want to be there too long usually. They're scared, they want to grab something and go. So make it more difficult for them to take your valuables. The mistake I made is I talked to other international cyclists. They don't know Cape Town. Very few of them know. All what they could say, I felt strange. I felt also a bit nervous on this bicycle lane. I didn't feel right there. The local cyclists very quickly pointed me to the articles of where is the violence in the city and how it happens. What was especially scary in this attack also is that I was not alone. Gunnar was with me. It's always my biggest fear that it happens with her, and if anything ever happened to her, I would have be able to explain that to her family. So that's something I'm always quite nervous about. I really didn't like it to happen. Sadly, in South Africa, as in many parts of the world, the criminal world is more organized than the police. So they're a step ahead. So it's hard to keep track with it. But do your homework. Do as much as you can to make your life a bit less painful if it ever happens. I must say, in 40,000 kilometers, this was the first time I was attacked like this, where something was robbed from me violently. So we had things taken a few times by kids in Tajikistan or in Mongolia, but very minor things and nothing like this. This was the first time. So don't be afraid to go out there in the world. Some countries are more dangerous than others, but again, for most of the world, it doesn't happen. I mean, you're careful and you should proceed fine. You should have no issues. We're quite excited about what's coming up after this on the menu. It's the crossing of the ocean by rowboat from here to Brazil. And that's going to have a lot of complexities involved with that. It's scary, it's exciting, it's going to be fun, it's going to be difficult. So a lot of things to look forward to. So yeah. So again, I feel very fortunate to have this life. I have to have a partner to do it with together. Goodbye from South Africa, goodbye from Stanford, the other Stanford, the one in South Africa and Western Cape, beautiful part of the world. Look at this beautiful oak tree. We are in a tree house now, in an oak tree. I love that. And then we have mountains in the background. It's a really beautiful part of the world. It's a good place to be right now, moving forward. Cheers.
Всем привет!
Привет всем!
Мы доехали до самой южной точки Африки, мыс Игольный. Дима чемпион, он проехал хорошо от Аляски до мыса Игольного пешком, на лыжах, на велосипеде, на каяке, вплавь, в общем, да. Ну и я чуть-чуть так, за компанию.
О, много километров на месте, много.
Мы счастливы, да?
Да, привет всем!
Всем большой привет!
Пока-пока!
Пока!